Hey everyone, my name is Ketwolski, and welcome back to Trek Central. Today we're going to be talking about our favorite chief engineer, Commander Geordi LaForge, and what he's been up to since the last time we saw him on our screens in Star Trek Nemesis. Many of us were initially concerned for his well-being, but thanks to a certain comic and a quick mention, we know that he's doing alright. A quick reminder, today's video will contain spoilers for Star Trek Picard, and its tie-in media, such as the book The Last Best Hope by Una McCormick, and IDW's Star Trek Picard Countdown comic. You have been warned. Today's video is sponsored by Star Trek Fleet Command, a free-to-play MMO mobile game available on iOS and Android set in the iconic Star Trek universe. As a Trekkie, I've always wondered what secrets could be hiding deep inside of Klingon space, and what mysteries await us in the final frontier. Well, thanks to Star Trek Fleet Command, I'm able to take charge of my own away missions and plot a course into the unknown. The in-game galaxy offers unique destinations for you and its millions of players worldwide to forge alliances, explore iconic locations, and dominate your enemies. When first downloading the game, I was surprised by the sheer amount of Star Trek lore embedded into it. Being able to outfit my own fleet of starships with iconic Star Trek characters is awesome within itself, but having a vast array of lore-focused descriptions at my fingertips showcases the level of detail that the studio went into when developing this game. But if lore isn't your thing, don't worry. The game's real-time action is wrapped in highly detailed, jaw-dropping ship, station, and planet models. So what are you waiting for? Download and install Star Trek Fleet Command from the link in the description below. By doing so, you not only help out this channel, but get a chance to enjoy this amazing game by taking your seat in your very own captain's chair. The last time we saw Commander Geordi LaForge was in the year 2379, where he was serving on board the Sovereign-class USS Enterprise E during the Shinzon crisis. During this mission, he unfortunately said goodbye to his dear friend, Lieutenant Commander Data, who sacrificed his life to save their captain, Jean-Luc Picard. Geordi continued to serve as the chief engineer of the Enterprise all the way up until the year 2381. In that year, news of the Romulan supernova had been intercepted by the Federation, and Picard was chosen to head up the relocation efforts of impacted Romulan colonies. This resulted in Jean-Luc being promoted to the rank of Admiral, and him leaving the Enterprise to take command of the Odyssey-class USS Verity to oversee relocation efforts. Upon hearing this, Geordi actually reaches out to Picard to offer his aid. He knows that the relief mission will require starships, lots of starships. So he goes off to Utopia Planitia, Starfleet's biggest shipyard located on Mars. With Picard's new power as an admiral and head of the relief effort, he's able to place LaForge in charge of Utopia Planitia. Though, as Geordi arrives at Mars, he realizes that it might take a while to convince the engineers to give up their current research assignments in order to work on the relief ships, as it would take them off of their current projects for an estimated 5 years. It takes a while to convince them all, with some actually resigning over the issue, but after they understand the importance of the work they are doing, they get on the job at hand, and ultimately, it's for the greater good. However, a big problem that blocked production of the new ships at Utopia Planitia was that certain components had to be created with technical expertise by hand. This meant it would take years for new engineers to be drafted in and taught how to create these critical components. However, Mackenzie, an engineer at Utopia Planitia, not only showed this problem to LaForge, but proposed an interesting solution. Using bioneural circuitry to make intelligent yet non-sentient androids to help in the production of these components. This led Geordi to ask for assistance from a man he did not particularly like, Commander Bruce Maddox, chair of robotics at the Daystrom Institute. It took a little while, but Bruce Maddox finally came on board with the purpose of creating brand new, non-sentient androids. Geordi worked closely with the engineers of Utopia Planitia and with Bruce Maddox at the Daystrom Institute for the next 4 years, helping to implement the new A500 androids that had been created by Maddox. Geordi was also in regular contact with Admiral Picard throughout the relief mission's efforts, even talking with him before his mission to Uyat Beta, which is shown in the Picard Countdown comic. Here we also see that Geordi even has a picture of himself and Data on his office desk. In the year 2385, on April the 5th, the A500 synthetics on Mars went rogue and attacked the Utopia Planitia shipyards, which killed over 90,000 people and ignited the atmosphere on Mars. Luckily for Geordi LaForge, he was actually on a shuttle en route to Earth, presumably to celebrate First Contact Day. LaForge developed survivor's guilt from this incident, knowing that the people he had worked with for the past 4 years were most likely dead, and yet he was still alive. LaForge beamed directly to the Daystrom Institute in Okinawa to confront and find Bruce Maddox, and to learn what had gone wrong. After finding Maddox, Geordi asks him if he was working on any other projects while creating the A500s, with Bruce admitting that he was looking into fractal neuronic cloning in order to create androids like Data. Geordi lashed out at Maddox for not focusing on this project and doing his own thing, while the whole of Starfleet had dedicated themselves to this relief mission. And that is all we hear from LaForge until the year 2399, where Picard is gearing up for his mission to find Daj's sister. Zhaban, Picard's housekeeper and friend, tells him that he needs to find a crew, and that LaForge might be someone worth contacting. This lets us know at least that LaForge is still alive around the year 2399. With the first season of Picard out of the way, we do know that Geordi does not appear to help Picard in his final effort to save the synthetics on Coppelius. But that doesn't mean we couldn't have a nice surprise cameo from our favorite chief engineer in the second season of the show. Now, we have actually seen LaForge during this time period in which the Picard series is set in other beta canon sources. In the original Countdown comic for the 2009 Star Trek film, Geordi LaForge had become a ship designer and was actually responsible for designing and building the Jellyfish, the ship which Spock used to create an artificial black hole to absorb the Romulan supernova. This could still happen, as Geordi could help Ambassador Spock to help deal with the survivors' guilt from the attack on Mars, and still make sure that the work that they did at Utopia Planitia could save a few Romulans and that their efforts were not in vain. In Star Trek Voyager, the episode entitled Timeless, we see Captain Geordi LaForge in command of the USS Challenger, a Galaxy-class starship, in the year 2390. And then, in the anti-time timeline from the TNG finale All Good Things, it appears Geordi had retired by around the year 2395 and had settled down on Rigel 3 with a wife and a few children, but that doesn't seem to be the case now. And that is everything we know that has happened to Geordi LaForge since we last saw him on our screens almost 2 decades ago inside of Star Trek Nemesis. Hopefully, we find out some more about what Geordi is up to, be it by reference or by cameo in the second season of Star Trek Picard. That's it from us here at Trek Central. If you want to keep up to date with all things Star Trek, then make sure that you subscribe to Trek Central here on YouTube. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates or visit our community Discord server. All links are available via the video description below. I've been Ketwolski, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.